Okay, so in my previous videos, I have covered all of the different laws of the indices, and in this video, we're going to apply them to some questions that we've got here. So I'm going to do some examples. Now, this first one, we have the same base, so we are allowed to simplify them. And remember, we add the powers. 5 plus 7 is 12. Coming across the page here, this seems a bit weird because this one doesn't actually have a power. But if it doesn't have a power written next to it, we know that there is actually a power of 1 there. So I'm dividing, that means I'm going to take the power of the 8 and the 1, and I'm going to subtract them. And 8 take away 1 is 7. This time I have got brackets. And if you remember, the law with brackets is you take the 3 and the 5 and you multiply them. 3 times 5 is 15. This time we have 8 to the power of 0, and any number to the power of 0 is always going to be equal to 1. Now, here's one where we have a negative index number. Like I said here, for a negative index number, you do 1 divided by, and you take the same thing, but you write it with a positive power. So this would be 1 divided by 9 to the power of 1. And actually 9 to the power of 1 is just 9. And I'll show you that that works on the calculator here. So if I do 9 to the power of negative 1, you can see that you get the answer a 9. So you can always check these things. Okay, this next one that I've got here looks like I'm going to be doing some brackets and some adding. So this 4 to the power of 7 to the power of 2, we're going to multiply those to get 4 to the power of 14. And that's going to be multiplied to 4 to the power of 3. I guess it didn't really need these brackets here, but it doesn't matter if they are written. Now we've got the same base because they both are a 4. We're allowed to add the powers together because we're multiplying. So it's 4 to the power of 17. Now here is one where you think, am I going to deal with this negative, or am I going to use the fact that because they're multiplying, I can simplify this part that we've got here? So for most of these questions, we're just trying to simplify. It's only a few of them that we're actually going to evaluate and say the answer. So I've got 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 4. That means you're going to add these two powers together. So you're going to be doing minus 3 plus 4. You're going to do minus 3 plus 4, and that just gives you 1. So it's 2 to the power of 1, or you could just write that answer as 2. Now, although my questions previously have been very, very small numbers here, it's okay if you have numbers like 95. As long as they are the same base, we're still going to have 95 as the base. And we've got this power and this power, it's dividing, so they're going to be subtracting. So we're going to do 95 for that power, take away that bottom power, 95 take away 91 is 4. Even you can have decimals, okay? It's absolutely fine for there to be decimals as well. So I'm going to start off by simplifying the numerator, and then I will do the denominator. So the top is going to be 3.1 to the power of 7, because we're adding these powers of 3 and 4 together. And then we've still got the 3.1 squared on the bottom to the power of 2. Now that we're dividing, we're going to take these powers and we subtract, because that is the rule for division. So it's going to be 3.1 to the power of 5. 7 take away 2 is 5. Here's one where we're just going to evaluate the answer. It's to the power of 0, so the answer is just 1. This one is like one of these questions that we have here. So we're going to write it as a 1 divided by the same thing, but with a positive power. All we need to do now is work out what 3 squared is, and 3 squared is 9. So in this question, this question, this question, and this question, we have evaluated the answer. We've actually worked out the answer. In the rest of them, we've left them with their powers, so we've just simplified them. Okay, this one, we are doing 4 to the power of minus 2 divided by 4 to the power of minus 5. And this is really just wanting us to simplify here. So because it's just wanting us to simplify, all we're going to do is take the powers and subtract them. So somewhere, I'm going to be working out minus 2 minus 5. Well, those two minuses mean it's actually going to be a plus. So it's 4 to the power of minus 2 plus 5, which is 3. Again, you can check this on your calculator. If you do minus 2 minus 5, you do end up with the answer positive 3 if you type it in carefully. Okay, this one's got a little bit more going on. We've got some negatives, but that's absolutely fine to deal with. So I'm going to do the powers on the top added together. 4, the powers on the top, add minus 6. Well, that's just 4, take away 6, which is minus 2. And on the bottom, we're going to be adding those powers, which is minus 2, add minus 5. So you're adding on a negative number, it's going to become more negative, So you end up with negative 7. Again, you can check this. We can say that it is minus 2 plus minus 5, and you do get minus 7. Now that we've got it written in this way, we're actually going to try and work out what the power is because of subtraction. We're going to do minus 2 take away negative 7. Minus 2 take away negative 7. Well, that's going to be minus 2 plus 7. And minus 2 plus 7 is going to be 5. Again, you could check all of this on your calculator. We could do minus 2 minus minus 7, and you do get that plus 5. Okay, last one for us to work out. I'm going to do some of the working out underneath this one, I think. So we've got the first part. We're going to multiply those powers. So that's 4 to the power of 30. The next one is going to be 4 to the power of 6. And that's going to be divided by 4 to the power of 7. And afterwards, it's 4 to the power of minus 3. So this is going to be, add these powers, 4 to the power of 36. And we're going to take away 7. So 36 take away 7 is 29. So it's going to be 4 to the power of 29 multiplied by 4 to the power of minus 3. We are adding these powers together. So you're going to do 29 plus negative 3. That means it's going to get smaller. And we're going to get 4 to the power of 26. Again, you could type these bits on your calculator. You could do 30 plus 6, take away 7, add negative 3. So we could do 30 plus 6, take away 7, plus negative 3, and we do get the answer 26 for the power that we've got here. So there are some questions for you to have a go at. I would say that the majority of these are simplify. There's just a few questions which are evaluate, which means just work out the answer. The ones that I want you to evaluate, I'm going to put a little star next to. So I want you to evaluate this one, this one, this one, this one here. I think the rest of them just need to simplify. So pause the video here and have a go, and then I'm just going to go through these questions in a second. Okay, so I'm going to add the powers nice and quick. It's going to be 4 to the power of 15. I'm going to subtract the powers, so it's going to be 13 cubed. I'm going to multiply the powers, so it's to the power of 24. This one is just going to be equal to 1 because it's the power of 0. I do it as 1 divided by 12 to the power of 1, but 12 to the power of 1 is just 12. So we've got 14 to the power of 12 because they're multiplying, multiplied by 14 to the power of 10, and then I can combine those by adding the powers, so it's 14 to the power of 22. I'm going to be adding these numbers together, so minus 5 plus minus 3, I'm adding a negative number to it, so it's going to become more negative, and it's 5 to the power of minus 8. It's going to be 115. I've got the same base, so I can subtract them. 115 take away 110 is 5. I'll do the top part, which is going to be 1.08 to the power of 11, because 7 plus 4 is 11, over 1.08 cubed. I'm then going to be subtracting those powers, because I'm dividing, and 11 take away 3 is 8. I'm going to evaluate this one, so it's 1 over 5 squared, and 5 squared is 25. To the power of 0, it is equal to 1. There is a hidden 1 that we don't necessarily see there, so I'm going to be doing 1 take away negative 5 because of the fact that I'm dividing, and that is actually 1 plus 5, which is 6. One that I've got down here, I've got some bits that need to be dealt with first of all, so I'm going to do that just underneath. So it's going to be 4 to the power of 10 from multiplying those numbers, 4 to the power of minus 3, and 4 to the power of 5 and 4 squared all staying the same. So I'm going to add these together. 10 take away 3, or 10 add negative 3 is 7. And I have 4 to the power of 5, and then I have 4 squared. This is going to be a 7 take away 5, which is 2. Add on the 2 afterwards, and you get 4 to the power of 4 for that one. Last answer that I'm going to be doing, or last question I'm going to do, the numerator of that first fraction is 3 to the power of minus 8, and I'm dividing it by 3 to the power of 7, and then I'm going to multiply it by 3 to the power of 8. So you can do this in any order. You could do minus 8, take away 7, and then plus 8, or you could do minus 8 plus 8, and then take away 7. I'll probably do it in the order that looks the most logical, so I'm going to do minus 8, take away 7, that's 3 to the power of minus 15, and then I'm going to multiply to the power of 8, which means I'm going to do minus 15 plus 8, which is going to be 3 to the power of minus 7. That's your final answer for that one simplified. Okay, so that is the first 5 index laws and all of them being used with numbers. Found this video helpful? Then why not drop it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like the next video in the playlist, you can click here to be taken straight to it. And as always, wishing you the very best for all your studies.